Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce about myself. My name is Fitriatul Husnah and I'm from class 4B. In this occasion, I will discuss about a journal, and the title of this journal is Emergency Online Instructions at Higher Education in Bangladesh During COVID-19, Challenges and Suggestions. Okay, now we will enter to introduction. So, teachers play a key role in enacting educational change. Whatever decisions are taken by educational leaders, it is the teachers who have to be at the forefront in implementing them. As the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic continued, public universities in Bangladesh began to take tentative steps towards online classes after an initial period of institutional closure and class suspension. The study was guided by the following research questions. Questions number 1 is what major challenges do teachers of English departments at Bangladesh public universities face in implementing online teaching during the COVID-19 situation? And question number 2 is what recommendations do teachers offer to overcome the challenges for successful implementation of online instruction? So, for literature review, research on online instruction has focused on external and internal barriers by Snowing and Armour 2001 that teachers encounter. Recent studies reveal the persistence of these factors in many contexts. Kelly 2015, Kopcha 2012, Nicolopoulou and Gialamas 2016. Next is access and cost. Lack of access to gadgets. Online resources, materials, and training pose a major challenge to remote teaching. A large segment of the population in Southeast Asia still does not have access to electronic devices and the internet. The cost of internet data packages are reported to be a challenge for students as well as teachers in many developing countries. In Bangladesh, teachers are paid modest salaries and they find it very difficult to bear the expenses of online classes. Next is redesigning the curriculum. To redesign the curriculum and to teach and access successfully online, teachers need to process general skill sets in contexts such as Bangladesh, where pre-service training is rare, particularly in university. It can be assumed that this will present a massive challenge for many teachers. Teacher training can be seen as a critical factor for enabling teachers to cope with the demands of online teaching. However, research suggests that little or no training has proved to be a major barrier to technology integration. Okay, next is about mental readiness. So, the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted negatively on the mental health of a large segment of the population. During the current crisis, pandemic-induced restraints such as social distancing, home quarantine, and isolation are impacting on family income and general well-being. These effects are reported to have been seriously for among the students, as well as the teaching professionals in a range of contexts. Next is methods. So for this research, in this qualitative study, data were collected from 22 teachers, 12 females and 10 male from 17 public universities across the country in mid-June 2020. The four members in the research team contacted potentially participants over the phone and selected them based on their availability, gender, years of experience, and regional sport, and conducted interviews with their respective groups via Zoom. There were 5 until 6 members in each group. The data were transcribed and coded separately. Later, the researchers compare and check their codes, and a number of common themes emerged. So, for findings and discussion, the participants were asked about the challenges they were facing while conducting online classes. 6 major themes emerge from their responses, which relate to access to research, researches and affordability, equity, technological competence, pedagogy and materials, assessment, and psychological factors. Okay, next is about suggestions for overcoming the challenges. Teachers were asked to offer suggestions for overcoming the challenges they mentioned. The responses are presented under 7 thematic categories. Number 1 is ensuring access to resources and affordability. Number 2 is ensuring equity. Number 3 is enhancing technological competence, and number 4 developing infrastructure. Number 5 devising appropriate pedagogical strategies and materials. Number 6 is formulating guidelines for online assessment, and the last, or number 7, is addressing psychological issues. So, for the conclusion of this research is, in the context of Bangladesh, this is probably the first study to report on the challenges experienced by public university English teachers during the transition to emergency online instruction. It also presented a set of suggestions from teachers to address the challenges they highlighted. Findings show that teachers encountered numerous challenges involving access to resources, equity, affordability, technological competence, pedagogy and materials, online assessment, and psychological issues. The major suggestions include ensuring access to resources and training, adapting pedagogical strategies, and reforming assessment modalities. So, I think that's all from me. Thank you, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.